The Browns have too many decision makers in football ops. Reaction or overreaction.
Cleveland Browns football has always been a story of hope colliding with heartbreak. But what happened under the bright lights at Ford Field against the Detroit Lions wasn't just another loss. It was an unraveling of everything this franchise claims to stand for. On national television, in front of millions, the Browns weren't just beaten. They were dismantled, humiliated, and stripped down to the core. A 34-10 collapse that will go down not only as one of the ugliest losses of the season but also as a moment that redefined the future of the team. The cameras kept cutting to the most haunting image of the night: Shadore Sanders, helmet by his side, face tight with frustration, watching from the bench as the Browns crumbled without him. Fans in the stadium had seen enough long before the final whistle, their chants of "We want Shadore" echoing through the stands like thunder. It wasn't just anger, it was a cry for salvation. From the first snap, the Browns' offense looked lifeless. Joe Flacco, once a Super Bowl MVP, now looked like a man dragging himself through quicksand. His stat line was brutal: 16 of 34, 184 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 crushing interceptions that killed any momentum before it could even exist. He entered the game with the league's lowest passer rating among qualifying starters, and by the end, nothing had changed. Every throw was a struggle, every drive a disaster. When the veteran quarterback you're relying on is coughing up turnovers and can't generate points, fans have to ask, why not turn to the rookie who represents the future? Why waste time and hope on a man whose prime is long gone? Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, another young option, was invisible, more a name on the roster than a presence on the field. The only shred of light for Cleveland came from rookie running back Quentin Judkins, who fought for 82 tough yards and a touchdown. But putting the entire weight of a broken offense on one rookie running back against a playoff-bound Lions squad was doomed from the start. Detroit didn't need flashy plays to embarrass Cleveland. Jared Goff played efficient, mistake-free football with 268 yards and 2 scores. Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions' ground game pounded Cleveland's defense until their spirit broke. Every phase of the game, offense, defense, special teams, Detroit was sharper, hungrier, and more prepared. Cleveland, they looked lost. And at the center of it all was Kevin Stefanski's stubborn insistence on sticking with Joe Flacco. That decision has turned what should have been a hopeful season into a slow-motion disaster. National media didn't hesitate to pounce. ESPN analysts labeled it organizational malpractice. On NFL Network, the knives were even sharper.
Yeah, obviously, when we struggle like we did on offense, obviously, Mary Kay, I understand the question, but that's not our focus.
This isn't conservative coaching, one voice thundered. This is coaching suicide. You have a rookie quarterback who could be the future, and you're throwing Joe Flacco out there like it's still 2012. This isn't leadership, it's denial. Even Cleveland's own beat reporters, usually careful not to turn on the team, were openly exasperated. The Browns didn't just look bad, one columnist wrote. They looked like they didn't belong in the same league. And the reason is sitting on the bench while the franchise dies in slow motion. If the media roasted Stefanski, the fans torched him. Social media exploded the moment the game ended. Fire Stefanski trended within minutes, alongside Free Shadore. Clips of Sanders on the bench staring blankly at the field spread like wildfire online, one video hitting over 2 million views overnight. The caption said it all: the future is right there, and they refuse to use him. Fans weren't just venting, they were doing the math. Shadore Sanders threw for 37 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions at Colorado. Joe Flacco has 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions for the Browns. Someone explained this like I'm 5, one viral post demanded. Another summed up the heartbreak: we've watched the same movie for 25 years. Vets lose games while young talent rots. When does the madness end? Even Browns owner Jimmy Haslam couldn't stomach what he saw. Multiple insiders reported that Haslam stormed out of the press box in the fourth quarter, red-faced with fury, demanding answers. After the game, he allegedly confronted front office staff with a single-pointed question: why draft Shadore Sanders if you're going to let him rot on the bench? This wasn't just anger in the moment. It was the culmination of weeks of frustration. Haslam has poured hundreds of millions into this franchise, and is grown sick of watching outdated philosophies choke the future. One insider put it bluntly: Jimmy didn't spend all this money to watch a 40-year-old lose games. He wants to see what this kid can do. That sentiment is growing louder inside the locker room, too. Players who once defended Stefanski's approach are losing faith. Offensive linemen are quietly complaining about protecting quarterbacks who can't move the ball. We're getting our heads knocked off blocking for guys who can't even get us into the end zone," one player was overheard saying. On the defensive side, frustration is boiling over. They've carried the team all season, holding opponents to just 17 points per game. But what good is that when the offense keeps handing the ball back? As one defensive captain put it, "We can't score touchdowns for them, too." The divide is growing. Offense versus defense, veterans versus the future. And at the center of it all is Shadore Sanders. The answer everyone can see but nobody's being allowed to use. Inside the building, the tension is real. Sources say there's a split in the organization. Kevin Stefanski wants to cling to Flacco, while voices in the front office, Andrew Berry, Jimmy Haslam, and others, want Sanders on the field. Meetings are heated, communication is breaking down, and trust is slipping fast. This isn't just a quarterback controversy anymore. It's a power struggle at the heart of the franchise. And every game Sanders sits, those cracks grow deeper. What makes this whole thing so maddening is the numbers. Flacco has completed just 61% of his passes this year, with 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. His yards per attempt barely crack 5, and his passer rating hovers in the 60s, near the bottom of the league. Cleveland defense is dead last in scoring at just 15 points per game. Now compare that to Sanders' resume: over 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 74% completion rate at Colorado. He faced relentless pressure behind one of the worst offensive lines in college football and still produced at an elite level. Even in limited preseason snaps with the Browns, Sanders looked poised and accurate, finishing with a passer rating over 100. These aren't empty numbers. They're proof that he belongs. And yet, Stefanski clings to the same tired line after every loss: "Joe gives us the best chance to win right now." But fans know that's not leadership, it's denial. Cleveland has been here before. Since returning to the NFL in 1999, the Browns have started 32 different quarterbacks, more than any other franchise. Tim Couch, Brady Quinn, Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. The list goes on, each one another failed experiment. Every time, fans are promised stability. Every time, it ends in heartbreak. And now, with Sanders, they're watching history repeat itself. Instead of investing in their future, the Browns are clinging to a 40-year-old relic of the past. Former Browns legend Bernie Kosar said it best: "You have to let young quarterbacks succeed and fail. Sitting on the bench doesn't make anyone better." The Browns have been the NFL's graveyard for quarterback talent, and unless they change now, Sanders risks becoming just another name on that tragic list. Even Deion Sanders, Shadore's father, has joined the conversation. On a recent podcast, Deion made a bold prediction: be patient. Be ready. His time is coming this year. And when it happens, everybody's going to know. Coming from a Hall of Famer, a college coach, and a media force, those words didn't just echo, they exploded. Overnight, clips of his statement spread across ESPN, NFL Network, and social media, reframing Shadore's benching as not just a Cleveland issue but a national storyline. When a voice like Deion Sanders speaks, the narrative doesn't stay local, it becomes global. And suddenly, Kevin Stefanski isn't just fighting Cleveland fans, he's fighting the entire NFL media machine. The truth is simple: Joe Flacco is done. He's a veteran out of answers, and every snap he takes is another wasted opportunity for a franchise that desperately needs new life. Shadore Sanders isn't a project. He's not a maybe. He's the future, and the future is ready now. The only question left is whether the Browns will see it before it's too late. So what do you think? Should the Browns finally unleash Shadore Sanders and break the cycle of failure? Or will Kevin Stefanski's stubborn loyalty to Joe Flacco sink this team even deeper? Is this just another chapter in Cleveland's cursed quarterback history? Or could Sanders be the one to change everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more updates, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the biggest stories shaking up the NFL.